I owe my life to Oakridge, literally. Now, let me explain. Without Oakridge, my parents would not have met as first-year teachers in 1995, they would not have gotten engaged on homecoming in 96, and then they would not have been married a week after graduation in 97. So clearly, without Oakridge, my parents would not have met, and I would not be standing here before you today. Now, on top of having faculty parents, I also have 71 siblings. This time, not literally. Although it does feel like it, because 23 of us have been here since first grade or before. We've grown up together and are practically brother and sister. You never really appreciate your home, or your home away from home until you're about to leave. Looking back now, the people involved in my life because of Oakridge have shaped me and taught me in incredible ways. I would like to share 5 memories of how my home away from home, the Oakridge School, has affected my life. In the first grade, Braden and I were in Mrs. McCarver's class, and you can see us up there, and we sat next to each other. And one day, while we were taking a quiz, Braden decided that it was the perfect opportunity to start a conversation. Mrs. McCarver turned to us and immediately told us to change our colors. I had never been more mortified in my life, but for Braden, it was just another day. What I did not know then was that Braden would become one of my best friends, and we would eventually attend junior prom together. Friendships can begin in the most unusual of circumstances, as I have seen many times here at Oakridge. Keep your eyes open, you never know when you're going to meet a lifelong friend. There's a famous book called All I Really Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. And while that is not 100% true, my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Nobles, taught me a lot. She knew, after only having me in her class for a month, that I needed to work on my tolerance. She told my parents this at the first parent-teacher conference, and after a little bit of denial, we realized she was definitely right. This is something that I still need to work on today, but in her nurturing way, Mrs. Nobles showed me that it's okay to not be perfect. We all have things we need to work on, and that is just part of being human. Thank you, Mrs. Nobles. I'm a perfectionist and I like to be in control. So when I opened my report card and I saw my first ever grade below an A, I was extremely disappointed. I went and talked to Mr. Henderson and I tried to persuade him that there was no way that it could be my fault. He understood that I was upset, but he would not change my grade. I would like to say that I immediately moved on, understood that yes, it was my fault, but I don't want to stand here and tell you a lie. I held a grudge for years, and I'm not really sure I've gotten over it. But Mr. Henderson taught me that it's okay to not be perfect, and that it's important to be able to move on in life. Thank you, Mr. Henderson. In the 4th grade, Anu, Shay, and I started a club called the Gopher Buddies. Now, don't ask me why you were called that, because all I can tell you is we were weird. We may have been weird, but we were happy being weird. We were just being ourselves. What I've seen at Oakridge time and time again is that God puts the perfect people in your life at that moment for you. Your friend groups will change, but that's okay. What's important to remember is that your true friends will support you and make you happy. Thank you, Gopher Buddies. I've been working hard for the past year to learn how to just live in the moment and not worry about the destination. And for me, one phrase comes to mind when I hear living in the moment, and that is JV soccer. As much as it might pain my dad to hear this, soccer is not my sport. Although some of my happiest moments at Oakridge have been on the soccer field. There's no pressure to win in JV soccer, only to improve and have some fun. JV soccer is not a resume builder, and so the reason I play soccer is simply to get a little exercise and spend time with people I like. JV soccer has taught me, and Oakridge's 6-season sports requirement has allowed me to just have a great experience and not worry about what the outcome will be. Thank you, JV Soccer. Sometimes, the most important impacts in your life don't boil down to a single instance. Teaching just isn't a job. These kids become your life. You think about them, care for them, worry about them, and love them. And once the school year ends, you just don't stop thinking, caring, worrying, or loving them. They have left an eternal mark in your life. My dad shared this quote with me, and while this is the attitude of every employee here at Oakridge, I would like to especially thank Mrs. Crash and Coach Treebwasser because they came to my mind the moment that I read this quote. Mrs. Crash is always kinder than necessary and consistently models this for her students. Thank you, Mrs. Crash, for everything that you have done for me and taught me. You find what you're looking for in life, whether it be good or bad. And Coach Treebwasser has shown me that life is a lot more enjoyable when you focus on the good. She has also shown me that we all need people to support us when we're struggling to find the good. She's my digital production teacher, and she has also helped me to find something that I'm passionate about, which is the graphic design. Thank you, Coach Treebwasser. My mom and dad are my parents, but my entire Oakridge family has raised me. Thank you, Oakridge.